Good morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 210 as we're going to be talking about some football news. It kind of relates to college football, kind of relates to the NFL, so I'm just going to call it football news. And then we're going to move over to the NBA as Mr. Tim Cook is going to talk about the NBA playoffs as he's the only one watching it out of the three of us. And then we'll finalize with the NHL playoffs because out of the three of us, I am watching those. We will also ask Lisa, what are you watching then? If we're watching NHL, NBA, what are you watching? So we got a lot to talk about. Let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
All right. Thank you for joining Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 210, and we are starting with NFL/college, just football news right off the bat, okay? NFL draft is 1 week from today as we're recording on Thursday. I've heard there's going to be one last combine video coming out. We'll have to see how that goes. That person is just nervous as shit because it's a year older, and I will tell you, that person is worried about some serious injuries. But starting us off today, Brian Kelly lands a new job after LSU, and it's in TV. He is not coaching yet. It's TV. The article that I was reading, it didn't state which source, who he's going to be working with, anything like that. But this is good for Brian Kelly. And here's why I'm going to say this. Even though he is so plain, I cannot imagine him on TV or him commentating anything because he is just, unless he gets that red face. That's the only thing I want.
Right.
But this is good for Brian Kelly because he maintains the buyout, but also stays involved in college football. So coaching's not off the table, but let's take some of that free money before we get back into the college football. What did you think when you heard about this, Mr. Tim Cook?
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, if they take a year off, you know, you had Sean Payton do it. You've had all these coaches do it. Not surprising on it. You know what? I think it might be years, not just this year off, years before he gets back into coaching because he had the talent there. He just couldn't put it together. And I don't know when he gets another job. I really don't. I think his shtick is ran its course, and I think it could be a while. He might actually have to go back as an OC somewhere. And I don't know, but it's not good. I think he's just, and he's not funny. I mean, he's not. I don't know. I think it's going to be a while before he gets back into coaching. Before he gets an offer.
I think his problem is his numbers are great, though. He had success at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He had success. When you look at his numbers, he looks like a coach that should have a job. I do agree with his shtick is kind of getting old of the yelling and stuff like that. Yeah. He tried to change that the last year at LSU. That didn't work out, obviously, if it got him fired as well. I don't see him being a coordinator. Excuse me. I see him going somewhere else, maybe a lower level. Maybe not D2, D3 or nothing like that, but I'm saying like, going to a smaller school like a Purdue or something like that and building that up before coming back to the SEC or something like that. But what did you think when you heard about this, Lisa?
I was just surprised he didn't pick up an acting job because, I mean, he picked up a role when he went to Louisiana. So the man can do anything, really. I'm kind of curious what personality he's going to pick up while he's on TV because you never know. He might just turn it around and turn that red face, frowny face upside down.
You know what? That's actually a great point there, Lisa. This is why you're on this show right here. Because you know what? He should be on College Game Day. And wherever the hell they go is what he should impersonate. And just pissing off the fans. Like when he goes to Texas, he's got to have a little draw to him,
and
right?
the hat, yeah.
Yes. And that sounds like there is already. That's Pat McAfee to a T already. So... No, I when you said that, though, I was thinking of him going to the West Coast, the East Coast, because he's originally from the East Coast.
Yeah.
And, like, even at Notre Dame, you heard his East Coast accent every once in a while. But then he would portray this, like, better than, anyone kind of mentality because I think that's what he thought Notre Dame was, which I will also say this real quick. I know we're off Brian Kelly. Marcus Freeman is the best person to represent Notre Dame. If you've watched any of these Bussin' with the Boys interviews with with Marcus Freeman, I don't want anyone else in the nation besides Marcus Freeman. He is the perfect character. He's the perfect father to his children. He is the perfect husband to his wife. He is the perfect coach for Notre Dame. Do not ever get rid of him, and do not ever let him leave. That's my rant about Notre Dame.
And he's not bad to look at. So
yeah, well, and it's funny that in that interviews that we saw, me and Lisa were talking about, they were like, you never want him to get to the mother, because the mother is the one where he talks about academics and things like that, and it also probably ain't too bad on the eyes either as well. So, all right. In other news and football news, we have Ty Simpson is visiting with the Arizona Cardinals, who hold the number 3 pick. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, as if you are the GMs of the Cardinals, do you like Simpson? Do you like Aller? Or do you like Beck better if you had the number 3 pick? Now, before you answer that, remember, Jacoby Brissett and Minshew are already on your roster as quarterbacks. So if you don't like any of them, take the experienced person. But I'm going to ask you, what would you do if you were the GM of the Arizona Cardinals? I'm going to start with you, Mr. Tim Cook. What are you doing?
I'm going with defense. They need defense. They don't. Brissett will keep you in games. It's their defense that lets them down and lets them go down the field and score. So I would go after that kid from Ohio State, that Arvell. I can't think of his.
Yeah,
but he's a linebacker. That's who I'd be going after. Is somebody like that can roam the field like he is. I think this is not a draft to go after a quarterback. Aller's coming off an injury. So, Ty Simpson, you're going to use your number 3 pick off of this draft is not that good for quarterbacks. I just don't think it is. I think you wait until next year and you try to go after Manning, Arch.
Coming off an injury, though.
But he played great at the end of the year. He was playing good ball. If they make the playoffs, they might have made a run.
Yeah.
That was Notre Dame.
All right, Lisa, you're the GM. Congratulations on the job. What are you doing with the number 3 pick?
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think Tim really answered the question, because you only gave 3 options and he went with option D. So that's an invalid answer. Okay. 1, 2, I'm going to say Simpson, because I feel like he could throw the ball better than Kyler Berry could, or maybe he's even taller. So I'm going to go with the taller quarterback here. And that's the only one I remember. Carson Beck, I know the name, but I don't know if he's got it. I don't really know. That's,
Took a team to a national championship.
Yeah. Championship game.
Yeah. No, I'm going to say Simpson for the question.
Yeah. Well, I did kind of put a little bit of a caveat, and Mr. Tim Cook did what I was going to do. I think you stay with Jacoby Brissett as well. I think you stay with that. Let's see what Minshew's got. Let's let those guys fight for that position. Because I agree, I do not think that this quarterback draft is that. If you got the number 1 pick, you're taking Mendoza. For sure. Mendoza is different than everyone else. Now, I just don't feel like you're going to see either 3 of these quarterbacks all gone in the first round. We saw last year's draft, which we were actually at in Green Bay, where quarterbacks were going later in the draft because no one had belief in them. You may get this guy in the 2nd round. You may be able to get him in the 3rd round. Who knows what this draft brings? But you don't need one position. You need a lot of positions. You need offensive line. You need defense. You need so many other things. And I think a good D-end, maybe that out of Miami, is a good situation more than a quarterback. I think you go with Brissett. I think when you made the decision to let Kyler Murray walk away, I think that's when you made, we're not going to go in this draft, or if we do, we'll go later. Let Brissett, let Minshew go in there. But so, yes, he did kind of answer the question because I'm answering the same way. But I just
sounds like my answer is the only valid one because I actually answered it.
But I did say,
you know what, Lisa, you know what I would have went with? And you knew this was my pick for Heisman last year. I'd go with Nussmeier out of LSU.
Oh, Jesus.
He's a bigger kid than all 3 of them.
Okay, so let's back it up.
Off an injury. I think he might be coming off an injury too.
Yes, he's coming off an injury as well. But hold on, though. So let's back it up. Lisa answered out of the 3 quarterbacks coming from college. You say Nussmeier. If I'm saying one quarterback that I have to take, I'm taking Carson Beck.
Yeah.
And I'm saying Carson Beck because, yes, there has been questions on some of his decision-making late in games, but he's a winner. You can't say the same thing for Aller, and you can't say the same thing for Simpson because he was a backup for so long to get into the role. Now, Alabama had a great season throughout the season, but kind of fell off at the end. But I'm taking Beck. Like, I want a winner. And that's what you're getting with Mendoza. You're getting a national championship Heisman.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not like last year he was the Heisman, or the year before that or whatever. All right, we got to move over to this. This story is going to blow your socks off, okay? Former Alabama D lineman Luther Davis is facing charges for allegedly impersonating NFL players to receive loans in their names, okay? Allegedly, let's say that one more time. Allegedly, he obtained almost $20 million in loans, with players identified as impersonating Michael Penix Jr., Xavier McKinney, and David Njoku. Now, obviously, these players have already spoke out and said they had no knowledge of these schemes, didn't know it was even happening. Now, this Luther Davis is accused of giving lenders fake identifications, even dressing up to pretend to be these players in-person meetings, which already from the report that I read, the guy was great at fine details. He would wear very much clothing that they would wear, even to the point of tattoos and things like this. This is an absolute crazy story. Now, if you remember, Luther Davis was a part of the 2009 national championship team, which is Nick Saban's first national championship before he went on this run. But one thing I will say, though, is this takes networking to a whole nother level, okay? Because just because you're a D1 athlete and you know these other D1 athletes doesn't mean you get to be like them or be them. Final thing, just want to reiterate, it's all allegedly, okay? Don't sue us. We don't even make money off this thing. Don't come after us. But Mr. Tim Cook, what did you think when you heard about this?
Well, if he's impersonating multiple different people, he's got something else going on behind. He's got either he's in that much of debt or he's got some vice that's going on that is costing that he's got to go after 20 million. But he thought he probably can get away with it if he's went after. He probably got a little bit of money off Penix, got a little bit of money off using their names, McKinney, whatever. He just thought, well, I could keep going with this, and it's like a Ponzi scheme.
Yep.
So that's the bad deal is that now they're going to go after him for fraud, and he's got to pay it all back. He probably ain't got the money now. So oh boy, he's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and it's all allegedly, but I will say, you said his vice is money, because taking $5 million, that's one thing. To take up to $20 million, gee, many criminy. Like, I mean, I'd be if I got to do a little impersonate for $1 million, I'm set. Like, I'm fine. 20.
Right.
But what'd you think when you heard about this, Lisa?
What is he buying? What is he buying? Is it cars? Is it houses? Like, what? Like, and it's crazy to think that, like, obviously we don't know how the, report started, but like, you're telling me, like, I know every penny that leaves my bank account. How do you not realize millions of dollars are just leaving Penix's bank account?
No. He was taking loans out in their name.
In their name.
He was
fraud, yeah.
He
was impersonating them.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And those are some big personalities and big athletes to be impersonating. Like, okay, sure, not everybody's going to know what their face looks like because they're under a helmet, but like, those are some big names to be impersonating to like really fool somebody in person. That's crazy.
Well, and I'll say this real quick. Like, that is the sport to do it. Basketball, you can't do it because you see their face at all times.
Yeah.
You can't do it in baseball because you see their face at all times. Football, a little bit more understanding, but I want to finish with this. I don't even think Michael Penix Jr. has made $20 million yet in the NFL. This man made more impersonating him than Michael Penix has probably made in the NFL already. So, absolute crazy story. Done with the football news. We got to move over to the NBA playoffs. We got to start with recapping Tuesday and Wednesday night. Mr. Tim Cook, take it over.
I think we had 4 games so far, Tuesday and Wednesday night. The first game was probably the most interesting game I think we had. Charlotte won 127-125. LaMelo Ball, which he's been talking about. If you guys watch sports, this has been the big talk for the last couple of days. I think the game turned around when he collided with Bam Adebayo, and then he falls down. And when he's falling, he's on his butt, and he grabs Bam Adebayo's ankle and flips him. And he lands on his butt, injures his back, doesn't come back. He doesn't get anything out of this because the referees didn't see it. And also they can't review it because there was no call on the court. So they can't call it. Should have got a flagrant 2, which would have been suspension. We come to find out today, as we're taping, that he did get a $35,000 fine, and then I think something else. I can't remember what it was for the incident. It totally turned the game. He comes back. They shot 50. Charlotte shoots 50 3-pointers in this game. I know the NBA is now a 3-point deal, but Ball had 30 points, 10 assists, including the game-winning shot in overtime. He turns the ball over right before overtime. Then he gets the game-winning shot in overtime. Miami led most of this game. I think Tyler Hero had 28 points, but in the end, Miami just couldn't hold the lead. And Charlotte wins. They now play the loser of the 76ers match game for the 8th seed, which I will tell you later. We had the second game, Portland and Phoenix. Here's a name, fans, that you should remember. Danny, I'm going to say this wrong. Alavaya.
Okay.
Remember this name
I
because
can't say.
he's going to be a star someday. The Wizards had this guy, and they traded him for a bowl of soup. So he is going to be a star this someday. He had 41 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, hitting the critical 3-pointer in the final minutes in a 114-110 victory over Portland. Portland wins against Phoenix. Portland overcame 11-point comeback. Devin Booker had 22 in a lift. The Suns struggled in the fourth quarter. That was their issue. With the win, Portland clinches the 7th seed and will play the Spurs in the first round, while the Suns going to play Friday night in a do-or-die game to stay in the postseason race. Last night's game, Magic and 76ers. I can't think of the kid's name. He stepped up big time, scoring 7 straight points. Tyrex Maxey, I'm sorry. Even VJ Edgecombe stepped up with 19 and 11. Kelly Oubre, 19 points without Embiid. This team is dangerous. I think if they get Embiid back, which he's got a appendix issue. If they get him back, they have to play Boston now. That could be tough but he's going to have to be 100%. For Orlando, 34 points from Desmond Bain. Pablo Banchero struggled, shooting 7 for 22 from the field. The 76ers will play now Boston in the first round. Orlando is I think a major disappointment this year. They were supposed to maybe go to the second round. I don't even know if they get out of the first round. And the last game, Warriors and Clippers. What can you say about Steph Curry? Oh, my God. He is just unbelievable. He had 36 points in 36 minutes last night, scoring 27 in the second half. But the key was the step-back 3 with 50 seconds left. Just cinched it. They shot 75% from the field in the fourth quarter. For the Clippers, Kawhi choked again, didn't step up in the fourth quarter. He was held scoreless for most of the period, and they got 2 steals off him. Also blowing a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter at home. You can't have that. Now they're in a do-or-die game. Now they're not going anywhere. Now there's talk. They interviewed him at the end of the game. He's like, just let me get through this loss, because there's a talk that there was a scandal with him taking money from Ballmer. Not really taking money from Ballmer, but they were paying him without any services. The league is going to do something about that. Now the Warriors play the Suns for the 8th seed Friday night. So we get Hornets Magic for the 8th seed Friday night, and we also get the Warriors Suns for the 8th seed Friday night.
Okay. Now,
So I think there's going to be some interesting games Friday night. It's do or die.
for sure. And I will say, I think the Wednesday games were very well as well, but I think the Tuesday games surprised as well. But what is one series that for us NBA not watchers that are going to possibly tune in, what is one series or 2 series that you would say you have to watch in this first round?
I think in the Western Conference, it's going to be Timberwolves and Nuggets. I think there were 3-6 seed, I think. watch that one. I think that is going to be an interesting game. You got Anthony Edwards, Joker. I think that is going to be a great series. That's in the Western. Eastern, I don't really know yet right now. I'm going to give you like a dark horse must-watch game. I think if Embiid is healthy, I think the 76ers give the Celtics all they can handle. Right now, the Celtics are a 12.5-point favorite game one in Boston. But I think they could steal. I think the 76ers, they've got with Maxey, Edgecombe, you might get a Paul George, moment. I think that could be an interesting series. It's kind of a dark horse one. That could go a gentleman's sweep, or that could go 7, depending on if they get a beat back.
Yeah.
And healthy.
And I'll say this too. I didn't watch the game, but I did see the highlights. They got to wear the black jerseys. They got to wear those old school 76er jerseys.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like that's Allen Iverson days. Those are the best. So definitely agree. Wait, so who did you pick to win it this year for the
I have the Celtics winning it all. I think they play the Spurs in the finals, and I think the Celtics win. I think with Tatum back, that is a big, and he's playing sitting the last 6-7 games, just tearing it up. I would not be surprised if Boston wins another one, which I think would be their 19th.
Wow. So you have as a dark horse the team that might beat the team that you want to win. Okay.
I think the Celtics win that series, but it could go a little longer than what people expect.
Yeah. Which, and from what I've seen, 76ers have been injury riddled. So they should be a better seed. But yeah, no, it'll be crazy to watch. I will say NBA is just tough. You said 50 3-pointers. What the hell are we talking about? Like, that's so many 3-pointers.
Yeah.
But all right, let's move over to a real sport, okay? The man sport of the NHL, second best to the NFL, okay, in my mind. NHL starts Saturday for their playoffs, but not all seeding is finalized as we're recording right now on Thursday. Regular season ends today, which the final seeding will be done then. First round, I think there's 2 series you got to watch, okay? First one being Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Montreal Canadiens, okay? Now, here's why. I think both teams match up very, very well, and both teams have over 100 points throughout the regular season, okay? So that's kind of 2 middle-of-the-pack heavyweights going at it right there. I will say as well, Tampa Bay is taking on one of possibly only 2 Canadian teams that are going to be in it. USA. I don't care who's on the team, whether they're from Canada or US. We just can't make sure that the Stanley Cup ever ends up back in Canada. Another series to watch as well is Dallas versus Minnesota Wild. The reason I think that this one is because another 100 points each. And the playoffs for NHL it's just so weird because they're like 3 and 4 seeds. And like, why are they playing each other? But whatever. I'm also saying this is a must watch because my winner, or who I'm predicting to win this year, is the Dallas Stars to win it. I think the Dallas Stars win it. Back in the day, if you watch a little NHL, what was his name? Mike Maduro?
Modano.
Yes, the Stars were so cool. They need to bring back those jerseys as well if they're going to make it to the Stanley Cup. But it starts Saturday, 3 games on Saturday. I think it's 2, 5, and 7. Watch them. Playoff hockey is different. If you haven't seen the ESPN commercial, it is so right. It is great. And watch the pre-games. It's one of the only sports where the pregame is actually very interesting. Thank you, Paul Bissonnette, because he can say anything and he can get away with anything he says. So now that's what I'm watching. I'm watching NHL. Mr. Tim Cook's watching NBA. Lisa, what have you been watching, or what are you excited to be watching going forward?
Well, I mean, since this is a sports podcast, of course I'm watching something sports. No, I'm not watching baseball. That's the only other option, and I am not watching that.
Well, you can't watch it because of Marquee and all these other sports. But what else are you watching? Are you watching? I know I saw you watching a little bit of The Housewives.
Yes, I'm watching some Housewives. I'm diving into that world. So if you got any recommendations of which city I should watch, please comment. But
How about Orange County?
Orange County, yeah, that one seems pretty lively. I'm in my Bravo universe, and I am so wrapped up in the Summer House drama. I'm following West and Amanda's drama all over New York City. I won't give away too many details, but I'm obviously Team Sierra. And I think it's a little BS that Amanda wants to come back out in society and not get, spammed by social media by going to one of the most popular places with the man in scandal. So, poor choices probably being made there. But I am watching my Bravo World, so stay tuned for more drama.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll say this real quick. The Bravo World is sports. Like, I know that it's not playing a sport, but that's all we enjoy in the sports. We love the drama. We love the sit on the edge of your seat kind of moments. And from the little bit we were watching last night, that's exactly. Now you started watching for the Housewives, New Jersey.
Did one of the originals? Yes.
Yes, and they got flip phones. It's a little. You started from the start, and I say you watching it, but we're watching it, right?
It's 17 seasons, so it's like I've literally jumped into a time capsule.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's intense, and it's pretty crazy because Teresa Giudice is the only original cast member still recording today. So it's just like I'm watching her and her family like grow up, and like all these other people are not relevant to me because they're not who the cast members are now. So it's just like it's crazy to see this time capsule and the hair and the outfits and the fashion choices is just like, oh my God, what were we thinking?
And the episode we watched last night, even just some of the context too, because there was some words being said in there that are not politically correct in today's world. Mm-hmm. And so that was a little interesting to see that that's still on TV to even watch. But so real quick though, before we wrap up, I know NHL is on ESPN and I believe TNT, but what is basketball? What are those? Are they
basketball
TNT?
would be I think NBC, ESPN, ABC, and I think maybe Prime Video.
Oh, okay, yes.
Here's the deal too. That's what kind of chapped my, and that's just the. Okay, NFL, I get you guys. You want to do on Peacock and Amazon. I get that, but every playing game on Tuesday, Wednesday was on Amazon Prime. Yeah. Come on, you couldn't throw one on at least maybe NBA TV or ESPN? Come on, man.
Yeah. No, and I think you're going to see it more. We've talked about it with football. We've talked about it, but now you're going to see these Netflix, HBO Max. These other ones are going to come snag them because I know WrestleMania is this weekend. Yeah. And I know Lisa's all in that. That's what you should have said you were watching this weekend.
I know. Well, I was going to get there about like what am I looking forward to watching. I got WrestleMania coming up. I heard that Taylor Frankie Paul's season of The Bachelorette is thinking about dropping now that some of those charges have fizzled out. So I got some things coming up. But yeah, WrestleMania. That's another drama sport that I got coming up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true. You should have heard her this morning. I was like, who's wrestling? Because I'm not paying attention. I know Pat McAfee and Cody Rhodes are going at it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Could care less. But I was like, who's watching it? And she just starts naming them. Not even looking at a phone. She's naming the women that are fighting, the men that are fighting. And she goes, the women are really interesting. The men, not so much.
Those are the ones that want to watch. Yeah, Rhea's going against Jade, and there's a lot of drama with that. And I know, Io Sky's involved, and then Jay's got a posse. And then Becky Lynch is going up against AJ Lee. And then there's a women's tag team with, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And
did you see where Cody Rhodes came to the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah, well, he got let in, so that's why there's no charges.
Allegedly let. I mean, the guy knew nothing about it. He just thought he was there to see him and talk to him, and he let him in. And next thing you know, he's tearing up the studio, and then they told him he was fired.
See, and this is why Pat
McAfee can promote anything.
Yes. He can sell ice to an igloo. What's the phrase?
A ketchup popsicle with white gloves to a Eskimo. Yeah.
Yes. It's crazy. It is crazy what it is. But I will say the wrestling, it is so funny to hear you talk like that because you're just not the typical person that I would say. And even when I tell people they're like, oh, do you watch wrestling? And I'm like, I kind of do, but my wife's the one. They're like, do you have another wife? And I'm like, nope, I got one. Right. And she's all about it. Right. Did you just do the Jey Uso, right? She even ain't crime. All right, let's get off this podcast. A little crazy. Okay. Episode 210, we talked about football. We talked about NBA, we talked about NHL, we talked about impersonating, we talked about wrestling, we talk about whatever the hell's going on in today's world. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Everyone, have a great weekend. Bad weather's out of here. One last thing. I'll never, ever say anything about bad weather on this podcast because we had 2 tornado sirens go off the past 2 days. So I ain't going to say anything bad about it. Mother Nature, you're all good with me. Just chill the hell out for a little bit.
You're lucky
okay?
you didn't live in Milwaukee and trying to get out of a Brewers game last night.
Oh, you know what?
2 nights.
Real quick. Yeah, that's crazy that they're not letting these people out before, which you have every right to leave whenever you want.
Right.
But then to get out and be in flood and stuff like that, crazy.
Yep.
Also, people, watch the damn news, okay? Just watch the news. Like,
You better watch it on your phone.
Yes. I mean, I'm 32 now, and I'm realizing I need to start watching the news because, and final thing, we were sitting there last night just doing home projects, and I asked Google, and I said, hey, making sure that no rain's coming. She goes, no rain. So we start finishing these house projects. Sirens go off. I didn't know if a bomb was coming. I didn't because it ain't bad weather. Like, what the hell was it? No.
That's funny.
Absolutely crazy. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we will talk to you on Wednesday.